Ready?
Welcome to One More. I'm Krista Brow. Each week we bring in two new guests, we sit them down, and we ask them why they do what they do. And this week, of course, is no exception. We have on touring punk rock, is that fair to say, punk rock artist Tyler Plazio, as well as R&B musician Townsend. But first, for the first time ever, we have on Matt Fernicola and Jeff Linden. Fern, Jeff, thank you guys for jumping at the last moment.
Thank you for having me.
Jesse and Brian could not be here tonight. Their planes were shot down over the Sea of Japan. They spun in. There are no survivors. Fern, Jeff, how are you doing tonight?
Doing wonderful, Chris. I gotta say, man, A+ hair game today.
Thank you.
Really
this is
nice.
why I brought him on. Jeff, what do you think of my hair?
It's okay.
Well, now remember, I am playing for you later tonight. So, Jeff.
It's
At the Wonder
Thank
Bar
you.
tonight.
Thank you. Very
At the
good.
Wonder Bar.
So I was actually
tonight.
thinking, this would be a fun question for you because I was going to ask Jesse and Brian this, but what's some rainy day music you guys want to listen to? You guys like to listen to? What's your rainy day music?
Good Day Sunshine by the Beatles.
Is that it?
Give it that back.
Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
turn it around on yourself? Okay. Jeff, do you have any rainy day songs? Any rainy day albums?
You know, I feel like I really should. I know your rainy day album is the Mountain Goats, right?
No.
That's the everyday album.
Yeah, Mountain Goats are everyday
I
albums.
thought there was a tweet I once saw you tweet was like, oh, today on this rainy day.
You can never hold me to anything I tweet. None of that. I don't stand by anything I say online, especially not in person, because if I did, I'd probably be in jail by now. No, my rainy day album is the Postal Service. That record.
Okay.
Listen to that.
Which one?
The Postal Service.
Ben Gibbard?
Ben,
Yes.
It was okay. Thank you for just.
It
saying
is my
yes.
favorite Yes album.
Yeah, it's an album by one of the guy from Death Cab for Cutie, Ben Gibbard, made like kind of an electronic
Such
album.
great heights.
Yes, there you go. You got
Boom.
it.
There's
Yes,
also a
it was-
ska version of that song.
I do not want to hear
whips.
that.
There's a lot of
No
covers
one
of that song I feel like people really think that song is a little more malleable and coverable than it actually is.
Dude, listen to the Streetlight version.
I gotta say,
I got support in the
no,
crowd.
I don't want to
Support in the-
lose
one
Spencer
support.
so early on into the show, but if I don't think a song is inherently better by making it a ska song.
Well,
Like,
that's where you're
there's a Neutral Milk
mistaken.
Hotel ska cover album. Like
Oh,
that
that-
doesn't.
It's
that's a-
very poorly done.
Yeah, like it's just like they're like if we just add horns and upstrokes, it's a stronger song. I gotta
Horn and
disagree. We need more upstrokes. The Take on Me by Real Big Fish. Thank you, Spencer, our resident ska expert. Spencer, what's your ska podcast called?
Oh, well, I mean, our general podcast is Shooting the Shibby.
Oh, Shooting the Shibby, and then your ska podcast is
Just Skying the Shibby.
Skying the Shibby.
Skying the
It's not
Fantastic.
Skodcast.
A Skodcast.
Skodcast.
Skodcast is not terrible. Yeah, no, I've never
Scott of Ice
been
and
a
Fire.
very big fan. Ska of Ice and Fire. There it is. No, we got it. We're doing that. But we're not here to talk about ska, ladies and gentlemen. Thank
Definitely
God
not.
we're not. We're here to talk about Mogo. Jeff.
One More with Krista Brow is brought to you by the savory goodness of Mogo Korean Fusion Tacos. Featuring fresh homemade ingredients, family recipes, and a variety of menu options, Mogo is bringing traditional Korean flavor to the masses. For the past 3 years, Mogo has also been a leading sponsor of Asbury Park Live, a free weekly summer concert series run in conjunction with the Asbury Park Music Foundation. This event series not only showcases emerging and established Asbury Park acts, but also raises money for youth music education, including the launch of a new Latin music summer camp last year. So visit either of their two locations, Cookman Avenue or the Asbury Park Boardwalk, for casual sit-down dining or takeout. The prices are always fair and the food is always fantastic. Mogo Korean... I was doing so good.
You're doing great.
Mogo Korean Fusion Tacos. Bring it to your next Game of Thrones party. Topical.
Yeah, he did his best on that one. All right, give it up for Jeff and Fern
Great job,
stepping
Jeff.
at the last
Great
moment.
job, Fern.
Great job, everyone. All right, he is a touring musician from Washington, D.C., whose latest record, Nervous Feelings, is available everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tyler Plazio. Tyler. Yeah, we can get applause going. We can applause. These guys, they didn't get applause, but he deserves it. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
So, I'm doing all right. So what, you're on, I think you said day 4 of this tour. What's this tour looking like for you? How long are you going to be out for?
We're out technically until this Friday, but we have a couple off days. But yeah, we're doing until Friday. Yeah, we're out 7 days in
Cool.
total. Yeah,
That's not too terrible. That seems
No.
pretty manageable. You tour a lot, though.
Try to, yeah, a decent amount.
Yeah, I feel like you. Again, when I saw you when I saw you at the gallery, I want to say last summer. Does that sound right?
Yeah, we played last summer. Yeah.
That's when I first got introduced to you, and I really dug your stuff.
Sure, thanks.
It was you were touring. It was a 2-piece at the time. Yes.
Last summer it wouldn't have been. No, we were a 2-piece. That would have been not last December, but the December before, I think. Maybe that's
Possibly.
right. Yeah.
Dates all.
I did a tour over like right after Christmas as a 2-piece. One, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before.
Yeah, maybe
so
that's
that was,
when I saw you.
Yeah.
Did you play the gallery at that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably when I saw you. But yeah, so you're touring. It's a 3-piece now, full band.
Yeah.
All right. I want to talk a little bit about the album and
Sure.
like that sound versus the live sound. So like Nervous Feeling for me, I really dug it. It's a very, I don't want to say it's a very basic record, but it's kind of just guitar, bass, drums.
Sure.
Here
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
Yeah,
Talk
yeah.
to me about building that record and where those songs came from.
Yeah, I mean, kind of when I do records, so I record all my records just in my garage, and then I have a producer in Nashville who mixes and masters everything.
Okay. Are you playing everything on the album?
I play everything except drums
Okay.
on the record normally. Yeah. And so the way that my producer and I always talk is we kind of always want to make it sound like a garage band on steroids.
Yeah.
So kind of the feel of just you're at like, a house show or whatever, but then just like also kind of a little more anthemic and like, in your face a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's got some power to it. It's got got some really nice walls of sound, but it's not like 40 guitars doing it. Like
Sure.
you're finding really powerful tones using what I assume to be less guitars than 40
Yeah.
overdubs.
Yeah, totally.
What about this DIY aesthetic? For lack of a better term, I hate that phrase, but so we're all on the same page. Like that idea of like sounding like a band in a garage. How does that appeal to you? Where did that come from in your?
Well, I mean, I just kind of started playing house shows and like basement shows and stuff like that. And, I agree. I'm not a big fan of the DIY kind of term, but
Yeah.
like,
I use it for brevity's sake.
yeah,
Genre
totally.
in general.
Totally.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
pointless
yeah.
conversation.
I feel like it just, I don't know. I kind of found sort of a community in that sense, and kind of just like in DC, there's not a lot of that. It's a lot of just like bigger-ish venues or just like really terrible, a ton of stuff like that. But then like the more that I tour, the more that I kind of find, in these areas, more support for just bands in general. So yeah, I don't know. Like I've just been touring for like 3 years, and I kind of just found kind of my place or my community in that, and so. I guess that's probably why I do it like that. I don't know. I've never really thought about like why I do it like that. I think it's just.
I also meant in the sense of like how you tour, but also the sense like the sound. Because
Yeah.
I feel like again the record has that. Like, what were you more or less? Who were you listening to that made that appeal to you? Who are your,
Totally.
to quote Mark Maron, who are your guys?
Yeah, right. I a couple years ago got really big into this guy Jeff Rosenstock.
Okay, yes.
From New York, and he kind of opened my eyes to like that there are ways to do punk rock music that aren't just really fast, like blast beat and like
3-chord songs.
Yeah, like there are ways to be a good songwriter, or not to say that those guys aren't good songwriters, but like there are ways to be more.
Maybe break the formula.
Yeah, be a little more complex, or think a little more about structure, or things like that. Write slower songs that still are loud and like
and
angsty
have
and
that
stuff.
power.
And he kind of really like getting into his music was when I kind of really realized that was an option. So he's kind of like my like number one kind of inspiration.
Yeah.
But then obviously like I'm really big into we were talking earlier about Weezer, but
Yeah.
only their first 2 records.
I mean, yes. there's generations of people who feel the same way. I am one
So
of those.
like Pinkerton is a really big inspiration, which actually is where a lot of my production decisions come from, is trying to just make it sound like that.
I mean,
Pinkerton
that album,
vibe, you
that
know?
album's got like I think people don't really talk about the fact that album has like a very dirty recording
Yeah,
sound to it.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
filthy. The synths are like violent. There's a lot of fuzz on that album. There's a lot of feedback, and like
Yeah.
people don't really think about that part of Weezer in general. That they were doing something a lot more heavy on that
Sure,
album.
yeah.
It's something that's always interested me because they got rid of it entirely and have never even looked
Yeah,
back.
I wish they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, well, anyway. I spend a lot of my time tweeting at Rivers Cuomo and trying to get him to block me, and he has yet to do it. Kenny, our camera guy, can attest how often I yell at Rivers Cuomo on Twitter. Your lyrics. Let's talk a little bit about your lyrics.
Sure.
they feel, and this is just me, giving it like not like deep listening, but listening to it a few times and trying to get into it. They feel like personal, and I feel like there's a sense of like self-awareness of the angstiness, like kind of a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that something you're going for specifically?
Yeah, I think that is an element of it. Like my approach to songwriting is kind of my whole branding and all that stuff is like, I do want to be personal and have people be able to relate to my songs and stuff like that. But also at the same time, I think there are like a lot of bands trying to go for that. So I do think there is an element of kind of self-awareness about that. I don't know if I consciously make an effort to do that when I write songs, but I do like see how you could get that.
Yeah, there was that one song, forgive me, there's children in the room, so I'm going to watch language, but it's Get Thee Out of My Room.
Right, yeah.
That line. I feel like that was kind of like, like the whole song is about the issues and the struggle, but then there's also kind of this moment of just like, but also just like leave me alone.
Yeah, totally.
Like it felt like not like funny, like it was trying to make a joke, but like it felt like taking that step back offered kind of a different look at this. So like there does come a moment where writing that kind of personal stuff, especially about struggles, does become self-indulgent.
Yeah,
and I feel like
definitely.
you do a very good job of recorecognizing that and knowing how to like take a step back. Again, there's these. This is me projecting my own thoughts on it. Or something you're looking at.
Yeah, well, that's cool that you got that. Yeah, definitely with that line, that was kind of the intention. It was when I was writing that song, like the verses are kind of really intense, and then when I was trying to get the chorus, it was just one of those things where you just feel so like all this pressure and like you so built up, and then eventually you're just like, just leave, like just get out. You know what I mean?
Just let me have this moment of sadness for myself.
Get out of my room.
I respect that.
So,
I really like that. Now again, I feel like I don't want to I don't want to make this like the crux, but you are younger. Yes, you're like.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
17.
You're 17, and you've been touring since you were 14. Or you've been touring.
15.
You've been touring since you were
probably.
15.
Yeah.
That's truly crazy to me, because at 17 I was still playing video games. But now that I say it out loud, I'm still playing video games, so nothing really has changed.
I play video games.
Yeah,
so
is there something to be said for starting so young and discovering, like, you're doing touring that I know people who have been doing what you're doing for 5 years and have spent a lot of time like trying to build up to be able to go on these like 7-day or more tours once a year. It's something like, how did you find it so young? Was it just by doing it, or?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just how I and I feel like this also does go back to that DIY kind of thing, but it's like the reason I record records in my garage is because I was like, well, I want to start putting out records, but I don't have money to go to a studio, so can I just do it myself? And then it was kind of the same thing where it was like, well, the scene in DC is not that great, but I hear great things about other places, so what if I just go there?
Yeah.
And so it was kind of I just kind of started doing it, I guess. I didn't really think about it that much. I was just like, well, I mean, other people do this, so why can't I do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then now we're here, I guess. So.
And here we are 3 years later, and you've been in presumably a van that does not smell very good for the past 5 days.
Sure.
You want to give a shout out to your band real quick?
Yeah, Jacob Vega, Kevin Bull, they're great guys. Jacob went and got me coffee. That's what's up. Because I'm gonna die otherwise.
Yeah, no, I got that. I'm on my second iced coffee,
Sure.
which is why I'm shaking in a way that makes me not very visible to the cameras right now. So yeah, it's really interesting to me, like, to see when you take an album that has kind of has this nervous energy to it. When you're doing this kind of touring where it's a little more gritty, it's a little more like wherever you can set up. What is it like exploring those songs in a space? Like, how is playing these songs with a band? How are you rediscovering them as you play them?
Yeah, and it's definitely interesting because the different venues that we play really kind of change that as well, because there are kind of like slower moments on the record and stuff, and definitely like there are some punk clubs and basements that we play where people just don't want that. Like,
they don't want it to be slow ever.
Yeah, at all. And so it's hard trying to find the balance of like when we can play these like more serious songs versus like when we should just play the really fast and loud stuff, But then there are also like a couple really like great shows where it's worked and people have been kind of into both, and people have been really supportive, and being able to play the new stuff and feel like it's being digested in the right kind of format in the right way that I want it, which is which is hard, to go to an audience and kind of, expect that they, expect that they understand like what I'm trying to do or whatever, but, I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That was the worst answer.
No,
I don't have any.
I promise you it's not the worst answer we've had on the show at all. No, it's really interesting to me to like, again, we're talking about how you listen to Jeff Rosenstock, like he kind of broke the rules of punk, let's say, for lack of a better term, but that is also a part of it. It's like, it doesn't, just because it's slower, just because it's quieter doesn't mean A, it's not punk. Or B, that it doesn't deserve the same amount of attention. And for you to actually be able to work that and express that, that's pretty impressive and something that in a way is admirable. I don't know.
Yeah.
I am very
I try. You know?
Like I don't have the vocabulary of punk. Like that's
me neither.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You just kind of hear what you hear. So we're going to wrap up. We're going to be hearing from you. You're also playing the Wonder Bar tonight. I'm going to also be there. I'm really looking forward to that.
It'll be
fun. So what are you looking at? What's next for you?
Oh man.
Yeah, right.
Love that question.
Right? I mean, like you're not even getting asked like when you're going to college. Like what's next in your DIY touring?
Yeah, totally. I think there's some stuff that has yet to be announced in June that's going to be pretty cool. There's a couple smaller festivals that we somehow managed to get on.
It's all about the confidence in the email, man.
That'll be cool. And then there's some new stuff. I think I'm actually probably going to play a new song later. There's some new stuff that'll probably be coming out over the summer after the June tour. And then, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I'm excited for it. All right. Cool. Before we go, do you want to look into, let's give them that camera, and you want to just give everyone the pitch. Where can we find you online? All that kind of stuff.
Hi. Do you like music?
I didn't mean an elevator pitch,
that.
but I love it. I hate music. Why must they dance?
No.
TylerPlazio.com is what I meant, but I love the hustle.
Please go online on your phone or whatever. TylerPlazio.com. I have music there. You can listen to it.
Fantastic. Tyler, thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. Give it up for Tyler, ladies and gentlemen. Before we bring on Townsend, Jesse, you want to come up and I'm going to roast. How are you wearing all black this week that I'm also wearing all black?
Because we're synced now, I guess.
Jesse McCormick, ladies and gentlemen. Jesse, you want to do the You Don't Know Jersey ad read?
Absolutely.
And then I'm going to grill you, and then we'll move on.
Is that why you waited for me to?
No, we had Fern and Jeff be my co-hosts for the top.
I heard when I walked in. Well, I didn't hear you.
It went poorly. Please.
All right.
You Don't Know Jersey.
You Don't Know Jersey.
This bottom one.
OneMore is sponsored by You Don't Know Jersey. Owned and operated by Allison Ed Maziak, You Don't Know Jersey has been bringing its readers all the best garden, state sports, music, art, film, and culture for nearly a decade. Hey, Fern, do you want to know what the real difference is between Hoboken and Hohokus? Well, then visit You Don't Know Jersey to get the rundown. I can't read.
Fantastic.
So whether you're in High Point, Cape May, or anywhere in between, visit YouDon'tKnowJersey.com. You Don't Know Jersey, because really, you just don't.
Fantastic. Now, also, can you look into the camera and explain to everyone why you were late today?
I lost my keys.
Yes, you did. Did you find them?
I did.
Where were they?
They were in the jacket I was wearing.
They were in the jacket,
Yeah.
so you're looking for them. Yeah, is that the second time that's happened?
No.
How do you feel? I like your hair. It's really coming in very good.
Thank you.
But
It's fading gracefully.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah.
We're not here to talk about your hair. We're here to talk about he's an R&B singer whose latest single, Bad Chemistry, has been streamed over 80,000 times. Ladies and gentlemen, please break it up. Townsend, watch the step. Don't fall. Oh, he did it so gracefully. Thanks for joining us,
What's
man.
up? How are you?
Hi, hello.
How are
That's
you?
Jessie. She came late.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi, I was late.
All right, Bad Chemistry, 80,000 streams. How does that feel?
It feels great, actually.
Let's
I don't know.
please.
Go ahead.
No, you should be doing the
Yeah.
talking. I am the interviewer. You are the interviewee.
It's actually great. It's actually really cool, you know?
Yeah, and I mean,
Happy.
it must feel good to see that's a pretty concrete form of validation in a business where there's not a lot of concrete validation.
Right.
To just see that number must feel pretty good. Let's talk about that song specifically because this is that's your first release, right?
Yeah.
Had
ever.
you been working on anything else before this, or was I am Townsend and this is the first thing you've ever really created?
So I was producing before I started singing. I
Okay.
was putting out a lot of remixes and things like that. And then I ended up meeting Fern and Palm and everybody else.
Over at Telegraph Hill Records,
Yes.
correct?
Telegraph
Yes,
Hill
yes. Give it up.
And so working with them, awesome. And Palm introduced me to Mayo, which is Minjez. And he's
Sweet
like, I was
baby
like,
Menji.
hey, I was like, and he was like, I need a song, you know. And me and him started working together, and he was like, hey, like I'll write it, you know, got you. I'm like, fine. And then just wrote the song. I learned the song and went in the studio and recorded it.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about that idea of collaboration, because that's something I think happens. It doesn't happen as much in like my world, I guess you could say, of like the more like rock band thing where like, you know, the singer brings in the song and, you know, we kind of build it from there. But like, I feel like in this world, for lack of a better term, the R&B world, there's a lot more collaboration going on. There's a lot more everyone's working together to build something, but it's still coming out under your name. What about that appeals to you, the idea of all this collaboration?
I think it's actually great, like collaborating with different artists, you know. Like I want to like venture off instead of like doing R&B, like that's my main thing. But I also want to step into like the EDM side, pop side, you know, do a little bit of everything, you know.
Yeah.
And not just stick into one genre.
Yeah, I absolutely get that. And like you said, you also worked as a producer, so like
Yeah.
this song where you're just singing on versus something you're producing, how do you approach those?
So like when I'm producing, like it's usually like I'll produce remixes and stuff like that. And I'll just like whatever I feel, I just like whatever I produce, I just feel it. Like whatever I feel, I just make it.
Yeah, you just kind of
It's
whatever.
just, like,
You
the
don't think
vibe.
about genre.
If I'm sad, it sounds sad. I'm just
Yeah.
like, you know what, whatever. Let's just do this.
I really love that. What programs do you work to remix? What are you doing?
FL Studio,
Okay.
Fruity Loops.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Fruity Loops.
They're like, yeah.
My friend, this guy Joe, who now lives down in Florida and works, he spent 6 months telling me he was going to teach me how to work Fruity Loops, and I watched him do it forever, and it just never made sense to me. He never actually sat down and was like, "This is how you do this."
It's
but like,
so easy.
it seems super easy,
All
but
you
I
gotta
just
do-
never got to play with it.
I'm telling you, all you gotta do is go on YouTube.
Go on
Teach
YouTube.
you everything.
Yeah, the YouTube tutorials.
They taught me.
Our friend Kate Dressed Up, her brother produced her first album literally
That's
by
not
what?
me. You like pointed
Oh,
to me and
I
he was
said
like,
our friend Kate
Yeah.
Dressed Up.
Yes, I do. Okay.
Her brother produced her first album, literally downloaded Logic, and then had no music experience at all, just watched YouTube tutorials to learn how to record from beginning to end.
That's
Like,
amazing.
it's kind of all
I
possible.
wish I could do that.
It's just, it takes time and
how I learn
dedication
things, is YouTube.
and intelligence, of which I have none, so that's why I'm a bass player.
It just sucks.
So, how's Telegraph Hill? What's working with them like?
They're awesome. They're great people. They're like my family now, you know. It's like all good vibes there all the time, you know. They're so helpful. They help me. Like right now I'm working on an EP, which is like remixes of that chemistry. They don't release sometime close to the summertime, you know. I can't
Is that an
wait.
exclusive? Did we just get that announcement?
You
or is that been
did.
online? Oh, hey,
You
look at
actually
that.
did.
We got an exclusive announcement. So are you working only with Mayeo, or I'm just gonna call him Menji. I
Menji.
love you.
I know, I love
Menji.
Menji.
I
I
love
love
you,
Menjis.
but Menji, you're not Mayeo. Come on.
I always call him Minjas. I'm like, then I see him like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta call him his his professional name.
Yeah,
when
I
he's in
know.
a public setting. It's like how none of us call Levy Dwayne anymore because
Oh my God.
we're not allowed to call him that. It's Levy.
You gotta call him Levy.
Yeah. So are you
like that on
working? Are you still like working with him, or is it just kind of bad chemistry and then you take it from there?
I definitely want to work with Minjas again too as well. I want to work with Fern as well. Like maybe Fern could produce something for me, and we can get in.
Fern,
there
do you want to
and
learn how to
see
use
something.
Fruity Loops? You can just go on YouTube. He's
You can
gonna
definitely
do
be
his
better
best.
than
Fern's
Chris
the
at
man.
it.
I feel
Yeah.
like
Apparently
Fern
he couldn't get the hang of it.
No, man, I couldn't hang.
Sorry.
So you were saying?
I feel like Fern's the man. Fern can just like come up with something real quick, and we can just go and get it.
Why don't you do that tonight? Just improvise a song live. Fern, you down?
Oh snap!
Yeah, you don't have to do that. I don't recommend that at all. I made that
I was
joke.
gonna say, all right.
I made that joke yesterday at my show. I was playing with Tara Dente, and she like went with it, and we kind of had to like back off from it because we were like playing, and she just kind of started playing and like starting to make up a melody. You're like, no, bail on the bit. So how'd you get started in the first place? How did music come in?
How did it come along? It was just like one day I was just like in my room and I was singing to myself. I was singing, and I had like, you remember those like laptop? You know, your laptop used to have like the camera, you had to put on it and plug it into the USB.
Yeah.
So I was in a recording one day. I was like recording this John Legend song, and I was like, cool, like I'm gonna sing this song and see how I sound. And I recorded it, and I just started emailing to my friends at the time because I know it's just like it wasn't like Snapchat and everything. So it was just like email. Let me see what they said. It was like, who's this? And I was like, it's me. And I was like, cool, like you know. And then I just started producing a lot. And then after that happened, I was like, And then actually no, 2.5 years ago, when I met Palm and got with Telegraph, that's when I decided I was like, oh, I need to sing, you know.
So
ended
you
up.
hadn't really been doing singing while
No,
you
I
were
wasn't.
remixing. You were just kind
I
of
wasn't.
working in
You
the
never
songs.
put like your own voice over tracks, or it's just more.
Never.
Playing
I never
with
done that
melodies?
until Palm had this party. He had this like shore house party. It was like a
Flamfest?
Flamfest actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Flamfest.
And
I
we
may have
went
been there for
there.
that one. I was very
Oh.
not in
Oh,
a
Sam.
sober state, I shall say, because there were children here.
I was like, meh, meh, meh.
No, but I was there and it was actually really cool. And Fern did this song. Like it inspired me, gave me some inspiration. He did a song with the Burns and I forget the name of it, but it's like, so made this girl hate me.
Oh,
I got
yes.
her birthday. And after that happened, I ended up going home and I was like, oh my gosh, like I gotta go to the studio. I gotta go to the studio and record. And I went in the studio, I recorded this cover, 2 Sam Smiths, 2 Good at Goodbyes. And I put it out in like the first like 2 weeks I had like over I think 12,000 plays on it.
That's awesome.
And then in the studio.
Nice.
With like you said, like those 12,000 plays, and again, going back to back chemistry, like 8,000. How much work are you putting into, getting the song out there? Stuff like that. Like, are you like working to get it on playlists? Are you like working on promo, or is it just kind of happening?
I just tend to like reach out to people. Like I'll reach out to people on Instagram. Like they're like a blogger or somebody. I'm like, let me just reach out to these people and just ask them something like, hey, would you mind posting this? Would you mind sharing this for me?
So you're just putting yourself out there, and
Yeah,
it seems to be
definitely.
working. That's
And I've done some I've been on MTV before. I filmed this MTV. It's called MTV Crash Karaoke. I've done that, and it was like a little quick thing. Like I just like my friend was like, hey, you should do this. Like they need singers, and I was like, cool. But I didn't know what it was for. Just they were like, it's gonna be in a major cable network. So we're like, fine, let's go. So I took my friend with me, and we went there. We go there, and I auditioned for it. I auditioned for it before I got there, and then it was like, okay, fine, you're in. Get there, all these cameras are around, and I'm like, what is this? What could it be? And then all of a sudden, these people come running in with like this big speaker, and they're like, welcome to MTV Crash Karaoke, and I'm like, okay, this is that.
so you just kind of put yourself out there.
Yeah, it
and
was
you
just
ended up on
like
MTV.
kind of crazy. I was like, I had to have like 2 shots, 3 shots because it was like at a bar. So I'm just like,
Okay, yeah. So
We're
I was
here
like,
for a good time, not a long time. I love that. I really like that. Something about just like you just reach out, and that's how
you have to,
you got to put yourself out there. Like it's kind of the scariest part, because as like musicians and artists, all we want to do is create. We don't want to think about everything that happens after that. But
It gets hard sometimes. It's
yeah,
just like,
it really kicks your ass sometimes. Just
it
looking
does.
at
You're like,
everything. Because we all just want to sit in our rooms and play with Fruity Loops, or I want to sit in my room and play with an electric guitar and just figure out something. But you can't just do that. You got to put
Right.
yourself out there. You got to book tours, DIY. You got to hit up people on Instagram, and I really love that. So moving forward, what are we looking at next? You said you got an EP of remixes coming up.
definitely.
Anything else exciting and fresh to announce here?
I want to start definitely want to start working on an album. After this EP's out, I want to start like working on an album and getting that done.
have you started writing?
I have.
Okay.
What are you writing
So-
with? How do you write?
So I just like listen, like either it's just like comes to me, like I'll be by myself and I'll just like write something, or either I'll just like hear like a go to YouTube and just like find something that I would like feel like I want that fits what I'm going for, and I just write off of it, and then when I actually get the beat or the original beat, that everything whatever I need, I'll just like like
kinda
put it
build
like
from there.
change the flow up a little bit and put it on paper and just like do it to the song.
And who are you listening to these days? The kind of
Sam Smith,
Oh,
you
boy.
know who else? I forgot her name. She does it. Oh my god, I feel so bad. What is that song? She's a psycho, a little bit psycho.
Is it Billie Eilish? Because like that's what everyone's super into.
Is everyone
so
listening
I
to
feel-
Billie Eilish? I'm
I feel
so
like
out
it's
of
like Diet
touch,
Lord.
dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't know Aquafina was a real thing. I thought she was the girl on BoJack Horseman. I'm so out of touch. You know what I mean?
That Horseman song is actually really cool though.
The BoJack Horseman song, like the intro.
I just listened to it. I was like, wait a minute.
It's got a groove to it.
It
It's
does.
it's one of the guys from the Black Keys, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's
I had
him
no
and
idea.
it's what's his name? The drummer that Jack White like absolutely hates. Patrick Carney, I think his name is. We're not here to talk about feuds of old
No.
shitty.
I
blues
was gonna
musicians.
say, like, I was listening to. I haven't listened to the single since it came out. I was listening to it on the way here. I was getting like Frank Ocean vibes, Banks. Have you heard Banks? Because you should. I heard a.
Oh my
heard a
gosh.
yes.
People say that they're like, you sound like John Legend. You sound like Frank Ocean. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll take that.
It's
I
just.
mean,
I don't know. It was.
Fine company.
It's very good company. I don't know. I just wanted to throw some maybe artists out there that I love that I was really kind of like.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna hear you play a couple of songs. Before we do, Brian sent me a last question, which I'm assuming is some form of inside joke. He says, "When are you releasing the full version of that Ariana Grande cover?"
Oh.
Care to elaborate?
Maybe I will now, since you said that.
What does that mean? Like, what song? What
It's
Ariana
this cover I
Grande
did to Ariana Grande's Seven Rings.
Sure.
And I posted it on Audio Mac, which is like SoundCloud.
So when are you releasing the full cover of it?
I don't know. I like tend to do these. I tend to do these covers at like 3 a.m, and I'm like, you know what? It's 3 a.m. I just want to record something. So definitely, I might definitely go and do that.
I think Brian kind of forced your hand and makes it
I
happen.
know. He like forced me to do it, and I'm gonna do it.
All right, Townsend, before we get you on stage, why don't you look in that camera and tell everyone where we can find you online? No, don't point it at me. Point it at him.
You can
Is
find
that
me
the
on
camera?
Spotify at meow 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 meow. No, I'm joking. So you can find me on Spotify at Townsend, SoundCloud Townsend Music, Audio Mac Townsend Music as well, iTunes same thing.
Spotify, etc., etc. Instagram, all those good things.
Everything.
Townsend Music.
Everything.
I love it. We're going to hear you in just a few minutes. Townsend, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on. Townsend, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Jesse, do you have your ad reads?
No.
Oh, these are your ad reads.
These are my
Cool.
ad reads. All right. Let me at the shiny mic.
We'll move stuff. We're going to move a table.
All right, cool. Hey, fam. OneMore is brought to you by the Asbury Park Music Foundation. APMF raises money to support youth music programs throughout Asbury Park that provide lasting skills, self-confidence, and life-changing experiences for underserved kids in our community. This includes funding for the Hip Hop Institute at the Boys and Girls Club of Monmouth, thank you, Chris, in-school music programs at Hope Academy, and scholarships for kids to attend Lake House Music Academy. APMF also hosts concert series throughout the year. Whether it's Music Mondays at Springwood Park or Asbury Park Live over the summer, Suburbia Friday nights, or the Sunday Songwriter Series, APMF always has something going on. Check out their calendar for more details. And if you're interested in making a meaningful difference in the community or keeping Asbury Park's legacy of music alive, head to asburyparkmusiclives.org to make a donation. And while you're there, pick up a Music Saved Asbury Park t-shirt. All proceeds make it possible to support Music Saved My Life youth music programs.
I'm not allowed to show what coffee I'm drinking, but it rhymes with Dunkin' Donuts.
So I'm trying to hide the branding. OneMore is also brought to you by Bordentown Guitar Rescue. Founded by certified luthier Mike Vrock, Bordentown Guitar Rescue has been building, modifying, customizing, and repairing stringed instruments since 2012. You are gulping that in my ear, and I
Matt, are
hate
you
it.
picking up the gulp?
There you go. Why wait a month for a basic setup from one of the big retailers when Bordentown Guitar Rescue has the quickest turnaround time in the state? So whether your body is warped, your neck is bent, or your bridge needs a new saddle, call certified luthier Mike Vrock for an estimate. Bordentown Guitar Rescue. Fix it, Vrock. And now, your first musical guest for tonight. I give you Townsend!
2 a.m. wake up shook, you ain't next me. Said you be at home, got no message on my phone. Where could you be? How can I see? Next day I call you out, you try to curb the blame. Say it wasn't you, baby, you think I'm a fool. Are you for real? Let me tell you how I feel. It feels like we've been here before, and it's always the same reaction. Every time we mix it up, we explode bad chemistry. I try to cut you off, but you fuck so devilish. When we're sipping on Hennessy, I try to cool it down, but it always bubbles over. You think we're vibing now, just wait until we're sober. We try to mix it up, we explode bad chemistry. You may think you're bad, but you know that I'm worse. Put me on blast, so I put you in a verse. I can play it dirty too, if that's what you like. Now I got 2 bad bitches on the side. We've been here before, and it's always the same reaction. Every time we mix it up, we explode bad chemistry. I try to cut you off, but you fuck so devilish. When we're sipping on Hennessy, I try to cool it down, but it always bubbles over. You think we're vibing now, just wait until we're sober. We try to mix it up, we explode bad chemistry. Bad chemistry, yeah, yeah. Bad chemistry. Bad chemistry.
Yeah, do it. I don't know what you guys are doing, but do it.
Absolutely.
I only learned one of his songs. We're gonna do a couple. Woo! I got this great capo here.
Fern, where'd you get that capo from?
I got it from Keyport Music.
Bang, bang.
Why were you in Keyport?
We used to live close there. I had to skip before.
Oh, okay. I thought you were at there today for some reason.
I met you in the dark, you lit me up, you made me feel as though I wasn't enough. We danced the night away, we drank too much. I held your head back when you were throwing up. And then you smiled over your shoulder. For a minute I was stone cold sober. I pulled you closer to my chest, and you asked me to stay over. And I said I already told you, I think that you should get some rest. I knew I loved you then, but you never know. I played it cool when I was scared of letting go. I knew I needed you, but you never showed. I'm gonna stay with you until we're gray and old. Just say you won't let go. Just say you won't let go. I'm gonna wake you up with breakfast in bed, and bring you coffee with a kiss on your head. I'll take the kids to school, wave them goodbye. I'll thank my lucky stars for that night. And you smiled over your shoulder. For a minute I was stone cold sober. I pulled you closer to my chest, and you asked me to stay over. And I said I already told you, I think that you should get some rest. Let go. Just say you won't let go. Just say you won't let go.
Give me that camera back. Thank you so much. These are your events for the week of April 15th. Monday, April 15th. Happy birthday, Pam Flores. And Pam Flo. All right. So right now, Happy Mondays presents Extensions, Tyler Plazio, Jeff Lynn, and the Black Spot Society at the Wonder Bar. Please drive over there now because Matt Smith says it's okay to be on your phone while you're driving.
Nailed it.
Tuesday, April 16th. Happy birthday, Lance Green. So we've got Dave Appy, Kev Daly, and Joshua Mark at the downtown, 7 p.m. Sir Sherry hosts open mic at the Old Town Pub, 8 p.m. I haven't done this in a very long time.
Hard, right?
Yeah. Free Indie Rock Night featuring Quality Living, The Clydes, and Naughty Clouds at Pet Shop, Jersey City, 9 p.m. We have Bottled Blonde, Lud Vista, and General Rochane DJ set at the Saint, and that's at 9:30 p.m. Wednesday, April 17th. Happy birthday, Ron from Successful Failures, Cody McCourt, Mark
Macefield.
I can't
wrote
read
that one. Happy birthday, Mark. You're the best.
And I can't read Chris's handwriting.
No one can.
Late Waves, Cicala, and Ennui, and Yanmo at the Whitechapel Projects. Ennui is a scary word.
Thursday, April 18th. Happy birthday, Mike Chick from Yawn Mower. Mike Chick is actually the roadie. Brayton Barr hosts Laugh for Paps, a comedy benefit show for Planned Parenthood at $5. Suggest a donation. The laugh start at 7:30 p.m. Last for Paps is genius. Rugburn, Kova, Tova, 81 Rich, and Dirk Bikes at Barker City at 8 p.m. Kate Dressed Up, the one, the only, and Dweller at World Cafe live at 8:30 p.m. Dave Moon and Viewers Like You, Fake Pockets, and Pete Zeingler of Hang Tight at Bond Street Basement at 9 p.m.
Oh, are you giving this back to
let's
me?
do
Friday.
You do one, I'll do the next one.
All right, cool. Friday. I don't get to do the fun one. April 19th. Happy birthday, Matt Cook and Jamie Kappa. We have the Adventuring Party, the Inflatable Head, Karma Gambit, and Mr. March at the Asbury Hotel, and that's at 8:30 p.m.
Saturday, April 20th, 420 Nice. Happy birthday to my friend Kristen Smith. King Nectar, Bongo Surf, Universal Rebel, and Apollo Saunders at FM Bar at 7 p.m. B Wood EP release featuring Judo Chop, Baron Praxis, Hey Leroy, and the Inflatable Heads at the Saint at 7 p.m. Never been there. Cable Brothers presents Dan Toye, Tom Flynn, and Mary McCrink at Espresso Joe's at 7 p.m. Fake Pockets, Brenyama, Carmen Gambit, and the Mercury Brothers at 7 p.m. I don't know where that is.
Oh, that's at New Hope.
And New Hope at John and Peter. Shout out. Kisses, Gel, Prospect, Ammo, and LMI at the AP Brewery at 8 p.m. Matt Cook birthday and single release show at the Asbury Hotel at 9 p.m. And 420 party at Langosta, hosted by and featuring the Big Dumb Burns and Bird Lords. 10 p.m. I'm having indigestion from the amount of coffee I drank. Close it out, Jesse.
All right, Sunday, April 21st, we have Espresso Joe's in Keyport. We'll be opening its doors as a soup kitchen for anyone who can't afford a meal or simply wants some company on Easter Sunday. No admission, no requirements. All are welcome for a traditional holiday meal, and that's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the saddest of all the sad boys, Tyler Plazio.
You always told me how none of your friends would ever check up on you. I always told you I'd never not call you when you really needed me. I guess I lied, I guess I never really meant it. Should've called, should've come over when you were down, but I just let you drown. Everybody loves you when you're dead, 'cause when you're alive, you're a waste of time. Everybody loves you when you're dead, I just miss you. And it's my fault. I remember the last time I saw your face. You were so beautiful. I wish I would have just said I love you. But as per usual, everybody loves you when you're dead. 'Cause when you're alive, you're a waste of time. Everybody loves you when you're dead. I just miss you. It's my fault. Even though you're long gone, I hope you know that I was wrong. Never should have left you alone. I wish I would have let you know. I'm sorry that I let you go. Everybody loves you when you're dead. 'Cause when you're alive, you're a waste of time. Everybody loves you when you're dead. 'Cause I just miss you, and it's my fault. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you when you're dead. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you when you're dead. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you when you're dead. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you when you're dead. All right, this is a new one. Cool. We'll see how it goes. I hope someday I'll find out that there's no heaven. 'Cause existence is exhausting. I like the idea of falling asleep forever. Then you never have to think again. Dozing off in the back of the bus. Maybe this is the last time. Fall asleep forever. I never felt so alive. Last night I read a book about dying, and now I feel so much better. Dozing off in the back of the bus. This is the last time. Fall asleep forever. I never felt so alive. Dozing off in the back of the bus. Maybe this is the last time. Fall asleep forever. I never felt so alive.
Tyler Plazio, ladies and gentlemen. Come on out, Townsend. Tyler, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you so much.
Townsend, Matt Fernicola, who's choosing to remain off camera. For Jesse McCormick, Mogo, the Asbury Park Music Foundation, this has been One More. I am Krista Brow. And to misquote Jimmy Buffett, ladies and gentlemen, keep living and dying in 3/4 time. Have a good night, folks.